Aha, another video about signs that a man actually likes you. And these signs are important because his words alone don't mean that much. A player will, for example, use beautiful words to wrap a woman around his finger until she gets dizzy. But his actions will always tell her the truth. And the actions of a man who truly cares will too. When a man is serious about you, it changes things about him. Things he will do without realizing it, subtle new habits he will create that reveal he's emotionally attached to you, things he does around his friends he didn't do before, little upgrades he makes in his life for you. There are even things he will say and do differently when he loves you. So let's go over some of these in this video, even those special sentences he will start to say. My name is Geert, I'm an author, I also use the pen name Brian Knox, I write about dating and other topics. And let's start with the first sign. He is making changes. Some are very obvious, some are very subtle. And those subtle ones can prove he envisions a life together with you. A great change you will see in a man who has really fallen for you is that he goes from good enough mode to I want to make her proud of me mode. There are a couple of types of men out there. Some will try to be the best version of themselves before having a girlfriend, so they can get one. They work out, they try to dress well, clean up their house, put in a lot of effort. And then when they get a girlfriend, great, mission complete. I can go back to gaming and growing my beer belly now. Ha! It's finally time for that other type of six-pack. But another group, when they get a girlfriend they really like, now they go on full alert. They feel the pressure. They want to make sure they are and stay worthy of her. Now they clean their car for the first time in 3 years and discover their city does have a gym with weights and treadmills and people who sweat. On purpose. Phenomenal. And they start making changes. And maybe they already took care of some of these things before, but now they just go next level. So if you see that, and especially if he tries to get your attention on these changes, hey, look at what I did. Yeah, that's never ever an accident. Now some of these changes will be more subtle, but super important because they prove he wants to be with you for the long term. When he meets you and then starts to become emotionally attached to you, he's going to try to be a better person. A man you are proud to be with, a man you can deeply respect, a man you can deeply love. And that also means that now, some of his old habits and also people he spent time with and even beliefs he had start to feel off, incompatible, simply because they don't align with who he wants to be around you. Maybe he went out partying every weekend, but now partying and drinking too much no longer aligns with the life he sees with you. Even some of his friends may fall away because they are no longer compatible with his new life he hopes to build with you. So your presence has raised and also changed his standards. So don't just look for the new good habits he might develop, also look at what he's leaving behind. Here's another important sign. He pre-solves your problems. Now, I know some women don't like this feature that many men have, the one where they try to solve your problems. But it's actually a sign he cares, because if he didn't care, well, they would remain your problems and not become his to solve. And if he really likes you, he will pre-solve them. For example, during the winter, my girlfriend's car was parked out front. It had been freezing all night and she had to go to work in the morning. So, by the time she got into the car, it was comfortably warm with no ice on the windshields. I took care of that before she had to ask, obviously. If we were at a dinner party and she was wearing heels and the car was parked far away, I got the car first so she wouldn't have to walk too far in those heels. Obviously. When we like you, we pre-solve problems for you, but only when there's a car involved. Otherwise, we're not really interested in helping out. Just kidding. We also post-solve problems for you. And sometimes pre-cause them too, if we're honest. But anyway, we try to solve problems. Here's another example. Once, a girlfriend of mine lost her sunglasses in a tiny but strong river we were crossing on foot during an adventurous walk. So I immediately dove in after her sunglasses with the same devotion you would expect if someone had dropped a child in that river. Her favorite sunglasses were that important to me. And in all honesty, we only do those things when we really like you. So that's why this is always a great sign. Here's another subtle but huge sign of deep interest in you. Tunnel vision. Did it ever happen to you that you were enjoying something so much that everything else around it seemed to disappear? You no longer thought about it, you didn't look at it, you had tunnel vision. You were only focused on that one thing that really mattered. Well, if a man likes you, and especially in the early stages of the relationship, the first couple of dates, he will have tunnel vision. During a date with you, everything that is not you will start to fade away. He's, for example, not checking his phone in the middle of a conversation. He may not look at his phone at all. And if you are in a group and one of his friends is telling a story, he's still often looking at you, or is trying to steer the conversation back to you, because you are the only one he's trying to connect with, and everything else just fades away. Other people become like extras in a movie. Nobody's really paying attention to them. Now, this obviously only happens in the first couple of weeks or months of a relationship, but it's a very strong signal. Who and what is he paying attention to? Then, his emotional attraction to you is also hidden in his words. And one sentence a man who's very interested in you will start to use, and sometimes love is already involved at this point, is, "I've never told this to anyone else before." Now, this may not sound as romantic as "I love you," but it's technically even more important. You are so important that he trusted you with whatever secret he just shared. And it's more than that. He opened up. He was vulnerable, which is a side of him only a very select few people will ever get to see. Plus, who do we show our vulnerable side to? Someone special we expect to be with for a very long time. So if he says this sentence, and you are not his therapist, mark this as a very important sign. Also, if he says, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," that's great too. He has surprised himself by how vulnerable he is with you. And another sentence to look out for is, "I thought of you when." I think some people underestimate the power of this sentence. "I thought of you when." We might let it pause because it sounds like part of a normal conversation, but it can actually mean a lot. If someone says this sentence more than once, it gives us a very important look right inside their mind. Let's suppose a woman says this to me. "Hey, I had to think of you when my friend said this and that." And she doesn't just say it once, but a couple of times in different situations. Now we know I'm often on her mind, but also that her mind jumps to me pretty quickly. That only happens when we start to matter to someone. So if a man starts to say any of these sentences around you often, good things are ahead. Like a warm car in a freezing winter when you have to go to work. Another great sign is when he listens differently to what you are saying. Here's what I mean. First of all, he remembers what you said. When a man is not interested in a woman, he might forget her first name 20 seconds after she tells him. But here, he remembers the details. And not only that, he digs deeper. Let's say you told him you are a big fan of Dua Lipa. Well, next time he may be able to sing some of her songs. You like taming wild horses? Next time he will be a walking Wikipedia page on that topic. And not just to impress you, but because he wants your world to become part of his world too. And another one men will only do when they really like you. He doesn't just give you things, he gives you experiences. Two types. First, he wants you to experience what he likes. He wants you to experience that special hiking spot with the beautiful views where he often goes for a walk. He wants to watch movies he loves, again, but with you. Second, he wants to give you experiences you will like that he couldn't care less about if it weren't for you. You are a vegetarian, so he takes you to the best vegetarian restaurant in town, even though he usually eats meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know how I always say to watch out for bare minimum men, the ones who just give you the minimum effort to still get what they want in return? Well, here, there is no transaction. He just wants to make you happy. And that brings me to another big one. He treats your emotions like precious diamonds. In other words, he starts making decisions based on how they will make you feel, even small ones. So this one here shows up in big and small decisions. He's no longer just reacting based on what he feels, he's tuning into what you might feel. For example, he starts thinking about how he says things, not just what he says, because he knows that has an impact on you. He also starts clarifying things without you needing to ask. "Hey, by the way, when I said ... I didn't mean it how it might have sounded," and then an explanation. Words he probably wouldn't say to a regular friend, but to you, he might. Also a text message like, "Hey, sorry, I'm a bit quiet. It's just that there's a lot going on at work right now." so you don't have to wonder what might be wrong. As you can see, tiny subtle things with a big meaning behind them. He's learning how you think, what makes you feel worried and what makes you happy, and he does more of what makes you happy. Now obviously, you probably won't find a guy that does all of these, and if you do, let everyone in the comments know how you pulled that off, but if you start seeing some of these, then that's a really good sign. Okay, that was it for this video. There's more on brianknox.com that I do not post over here. Also in my books on Amazon, just type my pen name Brian Knox in the search box to get a list of all of my books. And wow, you're still here at the very end of the video. And the fact that you are still here is a sign to me that you possibly appreciated this video. I hope so. So thank you, and I hope to see you in another video.